medical technology is going to be a huge sector of this field. I couldn't think of anybody out there better in technology than our good friend Clayton Morris from Fox and Friends. Clayton is a friend. I see him every Saturday and Sunday on Fox and Friends weekend. He's the guru of technology on Fox. He's the one who introduced me all the Apple products. And that's why I thought it's great to have him. Clayton, good morning. Dr. Samadi here.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for having me, Doc.
Of course. So I know you are really into tech. You know a lot about Apple. Tell me about some of these apps or things that Apple is coming up with to improve people's health and people's lives.
Well, this week I had a chance to go out to the Apple event to cover what I thought was just going to be the Apple Watch event, which, I had a chance to meet some doctors out there during the fall announcement of the Apple Watch event, where it was really exciting for what it seemed like Apple was planning for HealthKit, which was built into the new version of iOS, the new software.
This was about a year ago that they came up with HealthKit, right?
Yeah, this was about, it was announced last summer, and then we saw the first implementations of it really in the fall with the launch of the new iPhones. And
Right.
then it was exciting because, well, you're going to have this device on your wrist that would be able to monitor all sorts of different biofeedback that we'd never seen before, being able to use this Apple Watch. Well, this past week, remember the watch doesn't come out for another few weeks here in April, but
That's
this
right.
past week at the Apple Watch event, Apple announced what was called Research Kit, and no one in the room had any idea that this was coming. Apple is a very secretive company, and when they do software projects, they manage to keep it very quiet. Hardware we get to learn about a little bit because we get leaks and things from China where some of the stuff is being
Right.
put together. Research Kit is really a software framework, and Apple's goal is to try to move medical research forward towards changing medicine. And you can speak to this much more eloquently than I can, but how difficult it is to get people on board for research projects. I remember when I was at the University of Pittsburgh, you would see those papers up in the dorm rooms.
Absolutely.
You rip off the little tab at the bottom, to call in, to go and, whatever, if you wanted to make a few extra bucks. If you
And
were
they
a
give you
student.
$50 for having draw your blood. That's right.
Exactly. So what Research Kit allows companies to do, and universities, for instance, Stanford, is to launch apps like the Parkinson's Empower Study app. So if you go to the App Store right now, you'll see 5 of the apps that they worked on before the launch. For instance, the Parkinson's app from Meloria University. It's pretty remarkable, and they showed on stage what you could do with thousands of people giving you feedback for a research study instead of a few hundred people. So now, since they launched this past week, tens of thousands of people have already signed up for these research studies. And doctors are saying, look, in what would take normally years to get this number of people involved
Tremendous.
in this kind of data, we're getting it in a few days. For instance, the Parkinson's app is pretty remarkable. It has a tap test to show whether or not the tremors in the hand have progressed. So you launch the app with 2 taps back and forth with your fingers. You're able to monitor the speed with which you're able to do that. Then you hold the iPhone up to your mouth, and you simply say, ah, and the app is able to study the vibrations of your vocal cords. And, of course, for Parkinson's patients, obviously this is they're able to monitor.
That's true.
You can speak again much more about the medical
Well,
side.
no. You sound like a real professor, and obviously you have studied this field tremendously, and you're up to par with the technology. I know they're doing the same thing with asthma, and also what I heard was they're putting these sensors under the skin, if I believe, that can actually monitor your glucose level continuously for diabetic patients. Were you able to see any of that over there?
Right, and so what you're able to do with, all of these different companies, for instance, iHome and other companies have built different devices that plug into the iPhone and use the different applications. So the Glucose Success app was built in partnership with Apple from the Massachusetts General Hospital, and they hope the app will further research into diabetes research, but also around the behaviors that affect your health. So it'll allow you to keep track of health behaviors for people with type 2 diabetes such as physical activity, diet,
Absolutely.
and taking their medicines. You can set reminders. It'll alert you, right on the watch or, of course, on your smartphone to let you know when to take this particular medicine. You become part of this broader research kit, which, obviously they don't have FDA approval for the iPhone being a medical device. I really think that this paves a roadmap so that eventually, Apple and others can, go and say, look, these smartphones are in the hands of all of these people around the world and around the country, and this really is a powerful device. Look at the data that we're getting, and they're able to go to the FDA and show that.
I think it's going to change the whole face of research. As you said, recruitment was always a huge problem, which I think through this technology we'll be able to get. Also, connecting the doctors with the patients is also going to be much easier. And I think because of what you just said, I'm going to buy one of those fancy watches, the Apple watches, that's different prices. We're going to have you more often every Sunday. You're going to be with us to bring this technology. And send me the summary of what you said. I would love to post it on our blog. Thank you so much. We have Clayton Morris. Thank you so much for being here, Clayton.
Doc, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot. We're going to go on a commercial, and we'll be right back with Dr. Mark Siegel talking about Obamacare and his recent article in the New York Post.